How are you, dear students? I hope you are all fine. Last lecture, we have talked about programming fundamentals, fundamentals of C++ and variables, and we went through. We talked about cout here, how the cout is working. We have talked about having new line, then backspace, a tab, space, and then a return. Then double quotation, how to write double quotation, single quotation, backslash and stuff. We try to solve these examples, and after that we came here and we had another example which was about let me just delete this one, which was about lessons of physics, chemistry and stuff. And today we are going to continue on the variable, and my Visual Studio is working, there is no problem, and I'm creating a new project right now. Okay, let's see, we will try to make a simple program, a review of the previous lectures, and we will continue to study more on the new lectures as well. So for the name of the project, I'm going to give, let's give a name of variable here. There's a problem. It will fix in a minute. Okay. So I'll simply say variables. Oops. Variables. So I give a name variables here, and my project is saved in here, and I have chose empty project inside the Visual C++ General, and then I press OK. Here our project have been created. Now we have inside the variable, we have these files, header, resources, and source file. We can click here and add new item here, and we can also come to the project to create an editor. Before creating it, you see that we cannot edit anything, you cannot write anything even if I press the keyboard. So I need an editor, something to write some code inside it. So I should open a new item here, and I will say not a header file, a CPP file, and I can give any name to it. So I'll leave it as source.cpp, and I press add. And right now I'm able to, you see this under the source file, you see source.cpp. So this means that your C++ file is ready to write on. Okay. Before doing anything, we are having something. Our program should have some input and output. So we are including iString and integer main, the head of our program. So we are saying basically our program is having a head just like a human being, and have a body just like a human being. So this is a head and this is the body. What do you mean by the body? This is the body we mean here. Let me just put there. Okay. So this is the head, and this is the body. There's no problem if you have many spaces here, many comments here, there's no problem. But you cannot write any code after the main until the bracket. So having comments, there will be no problem. Okay. So integer main, then brackets. After that, then we will have this kind of parenthesis. Okay, let me just write it inside. So this is the body of my program. Okay. What did I have here inside my my application? I should have system pause in order to make the program pause whenever everything has finished, and I have return 0. That's the whole thing I need to like somehow memorize, because all of them are, I mean, there's nothing, you just write it, because this is the preparation for writing your code, okay? Okay, then I have to write a cout. I'll say hello. I will put a semicolon here, and you see this error undefined cout. So we were supposed to write standard library either before std here, or we can simply say using namespace and then standard library. Okay, so right now my cout is working, my first program is working, so I save it simply and I come to the debug, start without debugging, or I can first of all build a solution. I'll build a solution, see if there's a problem here. We will wait a bit, and you see build started, there's no problem, 0 failed. So after that we'll come to start without debugging, and let's see. Yes, I'm having hello, and then press any key to continue. Why is that? Because I don't have end line here. I can have end line right after it, and I'll save it, Control F5, and hello, press any key to continue. It says let me just change this one as well to 24. Yes. Okay, so my first program is working right now, and previous lecture we have some variables. We said instead of writing hello, I can have a variable like let's see, for the lessons what we have started for the lesson, we may, let's say, think about calculator as well. Let's say integer first number, integer second number. We said this is known as declaration. This one as well, declaration, but we should initialize it. So I can say first number equals to 5. Then this one is known as initialization. So this one is declaration. You are declaring the value. You are saying we have a plate which is of type integer. The name of the plate is قابقول, يعني هاشتاكيكا, any name for the plate. And let's say in here we are saying first number. After that we are saying قابقول for which meraga, for which kind of float I'm going to use. So first number I'm saying it is meraga, balam kam meraga fasulya يعني هاشتاكيكا. So I'm giving a value right now. Okay. So I'm first declaring that I have a plate, and then I'm filling it with a kind of, let's say 5, 6, 7, any kind of number. So this one is known as initialization. Okay, I can have both declaration and initialization at the same time. Let's say integer second number. So this one is the type of the plate, and this one is the name of the plate, and equals to 6. This one is the initialization. So here I can say this one is declaration and initialization as well. Okay, so I can do it in two ways, either in this way or in this way. Okay, I can also do it in another way as well. So I can simply say integer. Why not? We are not saying, let's say قابقول, we are not defining and for merege and for fasolya and for different kind of food. We can simply say second number integer, let's say fn, okay, first number, and then comma second number, semicolon. We can also declare it just like this, or declare it just like this. Okay, first number is not declared, it's only declared. Second number is initialized. So this one, the whole 1, 2, and then 3 steps become one step right now, and I can make it this one equals to 5. And you see this, I'm saying integer, both of them are integers. So this basically means, let me just delete this one. It says integer fn equals to 5. So this is the first argument, and the second argument, the second part is this, and integer sn is a number as well. Okay, so we are putting a comma in between them, which means that both fn is an integer and sn is an integer. The value of fn is 5, the value of sn is 6, and I can have as much as I like. Yeah, I mean, let's say third number. Okay, I can either only declare it or I can initialize it. It only depends on me. I hope this is clear. Okay, and if we come to the slides as well. We have this kind of thing: type, variable name, and then value. We said let's just go a bit on the slides as well. When I'm saying integer my number declaration, my number equals to 4, and then initialization. When I'm calling it, I can simply say so. If I run the program right now, you see I have first number, which is equals to 5. I have second number, which is equals to 6. I have fn 5, sn 6. So how many variables I have? 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I have 4 variables right now. The name of the first variable is first number, second variable second number, third and then fourth variable. What do you think? If I run this program, I'm simply building the solution. And if I run the program, start without debugging, what do you think the result will be? Hello. Where are the others? You see? So only the first line, only the cout have been printed to me. Okay, but the first number, second number, and then the others, it's not appearing to me. So how I can see these variables as well? How I can see the value of these variables as well? So after everything, not before it. You see, there's a problem whenever students are most of the time facing it. So it's first number, yes, and first number equals to 5. Yes, that's true. What the students are doing, sometimes they make themselves like confused with this kind of thing, which is like I can say, give an example of anyone who before marrying he doesn't have any children, so after marriage there will be children. The same procedure is happening here. Before having the variable, you cannot call the variable. So I cannot see out right now. I cannot see out first. Let me just first number. Okay, first number. You see, even Visual Studio doesn't help me because there's a problem here. If I see out it, there's a problem. It says undefined. So I have first number, but it is undefined. Why is that? I have first number here because C++ and the compiler is reading line by line. Okay, so it comes here and it says that yes, include IOStream. Okay, so you are using namespace. Okay, it came to the main, the head and in the body, and then it reads the first line. After that, it reads this one. So it says first number. Do we have any first number before it? No. That's why it gives me error. It doesn't see this first number. How we can make this one see this? I simply cut it, Control X, and after the first number, after the initialization of first number, I can put. You see, there's another error always students are facing. Before the initialization, they are putting the first number. This one, you see, there's no problem here right now. Okay. There's no problem. I have first number, yes, but what's the value of first number? It's like when someone is asking a number in your mind and he doesn't know the number. So there's no number right now. And I'm printing the value of this number which doesn't have anything. So you see there's no problem. It's not saying undefined and stuff. And if I build it, let's say build a solution here, okay, you simply can have this one and initialize it, local variable, first number, use it. So what simply is what basically is this one saying is that the first number you have used it and it's not initialized. So it is C. It started with C 4700. So this basically means compiler program. So the compiler is saying it's not applicable, it's not according to my rules and regulation. What are the rules and regulations is this: at first you declare it and then you initialize it, Control X, and then you call it. So everything should be started, all the engines, all the parts should be ready, and then you start it. Okay? So if I right now rebuild my solution, you see there's no error right now. We will face no error right now, 0 fails. And what do you think will be the result? What will be the output of these lines? So hello, and then integer first number, integer second number, then another cout. So the first cout is hello, the second cout is first number. And let me just put an end line here as well. And what's the third part? Nothing else. So my program right now will print something like hello, and then 5, then press any key to continue. Okay? Okay. We have to also talked about this after adding this one. So I'm just commenting this. And I will come to the okay, I will come to the second number, and then I'll just delete the space, and then I will come here. Do you think this one is working as well? So I have the first number. Let me just delete this one as well. I have the first number which is declared and initialized, and I'm able to, yes, I'm able to see it. And I will right now call the others as well. So how I can call the others? Second, you see, I'm able to choose from it. Just enter. Okay, second number, and then another cout for F, and then N. You see, it's applicable. And another cout for S and N. Yes. So what do you think right now is happening? So it will say hello, and then first number, then second number, then Fn, then Sn. This will be Control F5. We will see right now hello, first number, then the others as well. So this one, it will be shown to us, okay? And this one is happening in the background. You cannot see it, but it's happening at the background of your system. Okay. And then what else we can say? Instead of writing these kind of things, I'm just going to comment this. And we said for commenting multiple line, I simply put a slash, then asterisk, then I come to the last line, then asterisk after the slash. So basically this one is for multi-line commenting. For single line commenting, I can simply say double slash. Okay? But for multi-line commenting, I can say slash asterisk, then in the closing asterisk, because it started with the asterisk, and then the asterisk should be closed, then the slash should be closed. Okay? Okay, right now let me do some operation on the first number. And if I have something like this, what was the result of this one? Will it give me the value, or it will give me the Fn only? And what do you think this one as well? So I'm just Control S, and you see, whenever I have double quotation, I'm saying show me as it is. And whenever I have even here it points to the variable. When I have no double quotation for it, it points to the value of this variable. So right now it will show me 6, and this one show me SN only. Control F5. So we will say hello SN6 because we didn't give any space or any value. If I want to give a space, I can give a space right now. And I'm Control F5ing right now. And you see I have a space. If I want to give a tab, I'll say /tab. Okay? And Control Save, Control F5. And you will see SN 5 spaces, then a 6. Okay? And if I want to make a new line, I can simply say here. And I come to the debug again and start without debugging. And then you will see SN then 6. Okay? So we have studied all these kind of things. And I can also, let's say, result of the numbers is, I give a space to make, and here I can do operations on the numbers. So SN plus FN plus having space or not having space doesn't change anything here. Either having many spaces, it will not do anything. I mean, it's not like it will not show me anything. And having little spaces, not even any space between them, it will not change anything as well. Okay, so it depends on you according. When I do coding, I simply give a space for the variables like here and here, and to make it clear I simply do it like this. It's better to do it tidy. Okay, and then I'm adding first number. So what I'm basically doing, I'm saying the result of the numbers is SN, FN, first number, and plus what? You may guess it, and then second number. And I'm Control S-ing and Control F5. You see result of the numbers is 22. Okay, so this one is doing the operation of addition, and this one is giving a message to the user. So this one, the user will add. This number is the operation of the whole numbers. I can write these names of these numbers here in the double quotation to show us. Okay, I can say result of first number plus second number plus this. Let me just do it. So I will copy result of first number plus second number plus Fn plus Sn equals to Control S, and I'm so here result of first number plus second number plus Fn plus Sn equals to 22. So this one is only a message to the user, and this one's doing the real operation. Okay, so we have talked about this as well in the previous lecture, and we have talked about this. Okay, how we can give name of the variable. You see in here I have only given Fn, and in here I have given second number. Is it important, like if the number is too much, like the number, the name was a long name or a small name, will anything change? Well, in fact, nothing changes. But instead of what's important is this: you should understand your code, and the one after you, maybe you are writing a piece of code, and your friend will see your code, and he's going to understand your code. So the one after you should understand your code. To have meaningful name. Meaningful name is very important. Like when I see this first number, I understand that it's doing some operation maybe. I see second number, so I understand there are two numbers, first number and second number. Here as well, it's possible to guess it, like تخمين يبقى, like first number, so this one is Fn is first number and Sn is second number. It's possible, it's a meaningful name. But there are some cases The students are always doing like X maybe and then doing Y. You can do it, there's no problem with that. And I can say instead of X number, first number, I can say Z. And this one is Z. And this one is X, Y, Z, and maybe V. You see, there's no problem here. We'll change it as well, but there's no problem. But I mean, it's not too much meaningful. Like X, what's Y, what is Z, why we have two numbers repeated, okay? So it's always better to have meaningful names for the variables. But there are some rules and regulations for the variables. A variable name shouldn't start with a number. Okay, it gives me an error. Expected unidentified. Okay, so it shouldn't start with a number. It's possible to start with a capital letter, there's no problem. It's possible to start with a small letter, there's no problem. It can be only one word, it can be two words, and there is okay. There's underscore between them, so I can say here as well. So I'm saying first number, okay, and this one as well. So I can just to separate the words, I can have say first number for first example, and I will try to make this one small as well. It only according to, I mean, either making small or capital, there's no problem with that. So I can basically have a variable name that much big, but I cannot have a variable name here, a space. So there shouldn't be any space between the variable name. So it should always be one piece, it has an atomic value. So only one piece, either a one word or a two word or a three word or any kind of, I mean, how many numbers of words you like, but it should be one piece. One more point, let's say in the slide, days of week, you see this one is legal, let's say. You see day of week. In the start of any word, it makes it capital. So this one is known as camel case. It is this one, it's more used among the programmers through the world. So for the variable name, the first letter is small, then the first letter of any word after it is capital. So day of week, and it is very, I mean, usual, very normal for anyone to see this and see the starting of any word in the code. But if I write first number, you see, it's a bit difficult to write the starting of the second number, to write the second piece of the word, okay? But this one, I'm able to see, okay, until now it's a word, and from here to there, it's a word as well. So first number, okay? It cannot start with a number. Illegal variable names cannot begin with a digit. And it's normal to start with underscore and having underscore between the variable name, either starting with it or between the words. Let's say day underscore, then of underscore, then week. It's also legal. It's legal to start with capital letter, and it's legal to have number after the first character, the first alphabet. So I can have a variable name right now if 1, 2, 3. There's no problem with that. And I'll say if 1, 2, 3 as well, here as well. But I cannot write 1 before the variable. I cannot have any number before the variable, but I can name it, let's say, after the first letter, the first alphabet letter, I can name it, I can use any kind of numbers, okay? here as well. And I can use not I can only variable names may only use letters, digits, or underscore, not hash and maybe ampersand, maybe and maybe multiplication stuff and things like this. So it's always illegal. You should care about this. Whenever you give a name, either starting with capital or small, either having underscore, either each word start with capital letter, it's always possible. But using hash, using different non-digit, non-underscore letter is not allowed. Okay, I hope this is understandable. I mean, it's you could understand it easily. And okay, let's come to this slide. These are the words, C++ keywords I cannot use for naming a variable. So these are forbidden words. I cannot use these kind of words for what? For my variable. You see, what's this one? Why this one is blue? Because this one is the reserved words. The reserved words are C++ is using these kind of words for itself. I mean, here I cannot use using something like this. You see, it's part of the integer. I mean, how can this one be integer? Or give the name for a variable integer. This one is a reserved word. It's inside the library of C++. You cannot use it. Okay. What else? I cannot use for because the reserved word. You see that even the color is different. I cannot use, let's say, I cannot use main. Integer. I cannot use let's say I include. I cannot use. So these are all the kind of words I'm unable to use them for naming a variable. Okay. What we have: and, auto, boolean, break, case, catch, char, constant, default, delete, do, double, else, and false, float, for, if, go to. So different kind of, you can see, have a look at them. And if you even don't look at them, just you are able to see here in the Visual Studio, you are able to see if the name will be applicable or not. So if I write go, there's no problem. Yeah, there's no problem here. But if I write float, you see there's a problem. It make it blue. So this means that it's problem using this kind of word. Okay. Okay, I'll save it and let's go to the next slide. And we have used integer. This was the integer we have used it. How many bytes it will take from the memory? 4 bytes. So it is starting from -2, then 3 numbers, then this one, until the positive this number. And if I have a number bigger than this, I'm unable to use integer. So it is always better maybe to use unsigned integer for a numbers bigger than this number. But for a negative number, I'm unable to use unsigned in SL. You see, let's go from the first. Short integer, I can use short integers which takes 2 bytes for any numbers which is between -32 768 until +32 768. So 32 767, let's say. So this one is saying I can have a variable. Let's say I will have a variable here, short integer equals to 32 767. 32 767. I'm able to okay, what's the name? Let's say short name. Okay, so short integer, even I did like you see the errors and you'll be able to solve them. So my type is short integer, which is 2 bytes, which is taking 32, 70, 67. Okay, let me just delete this kind of thing, or okay, let's not delete it. But I don't have the cout. This one, I'll comment this. Okay. And if I cout this, if I print this, so I'll say short name. I'm saving it, Control F5, and hello, then the number. But if I have short name, I will use the first number as well. I'll put this number before it. So I will say, how you can say, I will put another short name 2. So I'll give another name which is composite of short name 1 plus first number. You see, right now my first short name, let's say this one is first and this one is first as well. So my first short name, short integer, is named short name, and I have given this value, and I have short integer again, short name 2, and I'm putting these two numbers, which is 3765 plus 5 to the short name 2, and I'm going to cout the short name 2 only, or maybe short name 1 as well. So I will write short name 1, then end line, then short name 2, then end line. Okay, I'll save it, and I'm going to look at this. 32765 is the first short name, and minus 32764 is the second short name. So this one is minus 32. So okay, let me just make it more clear. I will say here, and double quotation, short name 1, this one, and I'll copy paste this one and come here, paste it, short name 2, Control F5. You see, short name 1 is 32767, but short name 2 is minus. Why is that? Because it's the limit. After the limit have been passed, after the limit of this one, which is short int, so it will start from the negative again. So basically it is minus 32768 plus 5, okay, which is equals to a number, maybe minus 32762 or 3 maybe. Okay, so this is the limit, this is the range for short int. For unsigned short int, always unsigned means it doesn't have negative value. Okay, so it starts from 0 to double of this number, 32768 plus this one, it becomes 655 this one. So unsigned is doubling or adding these two numbers in positive, and it will become this one. Okay, and it's as well 2 bytes. And we have integer, which is composed of 4 bytes, and unsigned integer, which is 4 bytes as well. This one is having a range of negative, then 0, then a range of the same in positive. But unsigned int doesn't have in the range of negative. Okay, so it starts from 0, then double of this number or double of this number. So it have a larger number for positive only. I have long integer, which you may see it's totally the same as integer, and unsigned log int, it's the same as the unsigned int, but it takes 4 bytes. I mean, it doesn't have any difference. I have long int, which is 8 bytes, and it's this range to this range, and I have unsigned long int, you may expect that. And this one doesn't have any negative value, and it will go to there. This one you may only see it. What we are basically most of the time use is using integer. It's not very important like to know that short integer is 2 byte, this one is 4 byte, and this one is 8 byte. But it is always a good thing to understand that it's not only an integer, it's short int, and long int as well. Okay. Okay. I think we have understood these kind of things. I'm going to delete it and I save it. Okay, so we had studied integers. Now we are studying floating point or floating numbers. Uh, Floating numbers is totally the same as integers. The only difference is that this one is fraction. In the integer, we cannot write any fraction. You see in the previous slide, in here we saw that it's equals to 4, equals to 15, equals to any number, but it should be complete number. While the floating number is a fractional number, so it is 3.14 and stuff. So this one is 0.14. So all of them are the the representation of how we can write a floating number. Okay, so either writing 3.0 or 3 point, this one is a floating number, or writings like this. These are all known as floating numbers. What we are going to use in fractions. For example, if we want to divide, let's say 4 by 5, what will be the result? If the result is an integer, so the integer will be less than 1 and it will be 0. But we want the fractional part of the what will be the percent. So at these times, we are going to use float points. Let's apply the floating number. What we have studied is integers. So let's have an integer. First of all, let's have a float. Float any number equals to, so this one is declaration. We have studied this. It's the same for this one as well. So it's a kind of variable, and we can say any number equals to, let's say 3. And if we are going to see out any number, okay, and then we will give an and end line, and let's control F5 and see the result. Okay, so in here it's a floating number, but at the same time it is 3. Okay, how we can understand it's a floating number? If I write 3.3 and if I run it, I have 3.3 right now. But when we have an integer, if we change this one into an integer, you will see that it will not accept it. Okay, so you see, so we only have 3. It's not accepting 3.3. You hear? You can see we have written 3.3, but if it is an integer, it normally changes this one into integer directly. So it deletes the last part of it. Okay. So this one I'm going to change it to float. And okay. If we have an integer, how we can let's make a division. Okay. I'm saying integer physics equals to 80 and integer math equals to 90, no, 85. Okay, because 80 and 85 it will be 82.5. Okay, and I have a float number which is, oops, I have a float number which is result of the or average. I'll give a meaningful name just to have it.
and I'm not going to initialize it because the floating average will be the result of this too. And in here I'll write average as well. Okay, so what's the average? You can simply guess. Average is equal to physics. I'm going to give a physics plus math divide by 2. Why I'm not writing something like this? Because at this time the presidency, or which one is happening first? This one is happening first, and then it will be added to the physics. So what's the mark for math? It's 85. So it will be 85 by 2, which is 42.5. Then it will be added to 80, which is not what we want. That's why we are going to use a bracket here like this. What do we mean by this is, please do the operation in between, and after one result, it became one result, divide the result of this addition by 2. Okay? So right now we have an average, which is a floating number, and we have physics, which is an integer. We have math, which is an integer, and we're dividing them by 2. Okay? And what we are doing is outing the average, the floating number, and doing an end line. You see here, okay, whenever we have two integers, the result will not be given as a float. We have to change one of them into a float. Okay, how we can change them? One of them in the, first of all, let's see the result. What's the result? Okay, do you see this? Oh, it's 82. It's not 82.5. It's 82. Why is that? Because this one is integer and this one is integer. Adding or operating on two integers and this one is integer as well, the result will not give us a floating number. That's why in the physics I am going to change this one into float number. So what I'm doing, I'm writing float just before the physics. What I mean is this: please convert the physics into a float number, which means that do it like this. Okay, so right now after this point the physics is a float number, or I can say I can delete this one and change this one into a float like this, and then changing this one into a float, the same thing. At this time physics is float, and with it we can see the result is different. So 82.5 this one. And if we do the other way, let me just control X. And if you do it this way, I'm changing this one integer into a float. So the value of this one is a float number. And a float plus an integer divided by 2 will be a float number as well. Okay? So these are two ways of doing it. Or, I mean, no, there's no other or. Yeah, that's the result. We can also change this one, like instead of having math in let's say integer, we can directly have these numbers in float. It's not changing anything. At this time we are going to apply division and operate any other operation. There will be no problem with that. Okay. Okay, so this is everything about float. We have, let's say, float. We have another thing which is known as double. Double and float are totally the same. Okay, double means any number which is double, 80.5, let's say. And we can write double like this, D-O-U-B-L-E. Double physics and then double math. Okay, and then the average, we can change the average in a float number. There's no problem with that. Okay, so 82.75 this time. Okay, and if I write like this, and I'm just going to save 82.5. So either writing float number or writing double, it's totally the same. What's the difference is double have more size than the float. So if we want our number to have to contain more, more numbers, let's say our result will be 1 2 point, let's say 0.35, I don't know, these kind of numbers. So it has a larger limit if it is a double number. So we can basically say the float is something like this. Until here it will do something like this. So the double has double number. Okay, so it has more places for the digits. فرقي float و double ئەوەیە کە double زیاتر ژمارە ئەگرێت، بەڵام float کەمتر ژمارە ئەگرێت. ئەگینا هەردووشیان بۆ ئەوەیە کە کەرتیان بینێ فراکشنە. کابێ ئەگەر لێرە کەرت بێت و لێرە کەرت بێ ئایدە بە دەبڵ بیان بە فلۆت بێ ئەتوانین بەکارێ بێنین، بەڵام ئەگەر دەرەجەکەمان ئەگەر دیجیتەکان ئەو نمبەری کە هەمانە کەم بێت، ئەگەر دەرەجە دیجیتەکان زۆر بوو ئەو کاتە لە جیاتیەوەی فلۆت بەکاربێنم باشتر وایە کە دەبڵ بەکاربێنم. دەبڵ زیاتر میمۆریەگرێت بەڵام شوێنی زیاتری هەیە، فلۆتیش کەمتر میمۆریەگرێت. باشە؟ Okay. Now we have another variable. Oops. Okay. کۆمنتەکان لێرە دانا بۆی ئەو کۆدی کە نووسیمە نەفوت، یعنی ئەتوانم هەر کاتێک ویستم سی ئەو کۆدانە بکەم کە نووسیمە، هاتووم لە دەروی مینەکە دانەوە بۆی مەشغوڵیشم نەکە زۆر قەرەباڵغی کارە. باشە ئەشتوان نێو ئاوا بکەن کۆد وشت ئەگەر توان نەیسەڕنەوە هەر لە خوارەوە داینێن و بیکەن بە کۆمنت بۆ خۆتان باشترە بۆی کە شتەکە ئەو پرۆگرامی کە نووسیتان دوای یەکر پارچەیە کۆدیش بێتان چوو بێتەوە توان لێوە سەیر بکەن. Now we have another variable which is known as Boolean. Basha, Boolean, it's a simply machine code. Machine code ishi chi bu 0 1. Kawata Boolean chia either true or false. أو هميتي. كابه زيادة Boolean بو چی بکارده بو case بکارده بو condition بکارده. So I am saying بۆ نمونە ئەڵێم ئەگەر تەلەبەکە هاتە جامعە کابێت ئەگەر تەلەبەکە هات چییە یان دێت یان نایەت، کابێ ئایدەر سفرە کە معناوە نەهاتووە یان یەکە معناوەیە هاتووە، یعنی بزیاتر بۆ شتانە بەکاردێت. ئێستاش باسی سلایدەکان کە بزانین لە سلایدەکانە چیمان هەیە. So Boolean literal can be taken value of either true or false. Uppercase form of them are not be considered as Boolean literals. Okay. Cout true, cout false, Boolean literal. ئەگەر ئێمە بەس تەنها بنووسین true باشە، ئێستا ئەو ترووە تایپەکەی بوڵێنە باشە، ئەوەشیان تایپەکەی بە هەمان شێواز هەر بوڵێنە، کەواتە بوڵێن ئەکرێت ڤالیۆکەی true بیان false بێ. ئێستا ئەوەیە بناسێنین، ئێستا بە بوڵێنە بناسێنین. بوڵێن بۆ شێوازە ئەناسێنرێت any number no decide با بوڵێنەکەمان decide بێت. Boolean decide name variable, our name of the variable is decide and the type is a Boolean type. And what's the value of it? So I'll write decide is equals to true simply. کابێ value decide ئەتوانین چی بێ ئەکرێت true بێ یان false بێ. باشە لە هەمان کاتیشە ئەتوانی بە سفرێکیش داینی. It will have no problem. ئەتوانین بڵێم سفر یان یەک چونکە دوو کەیسی هەیە بوڵێن. Either it is true which is 1 or it is false which is 0. کابێ لێرە ئەنووسم true. ئەگەر بنووسم cout decide and I'm going to give an end line. ئەگەر ئێستا شتێکی ئاوا بکەین ریزڵتەکە as expected 1. ئەگەر لێرە ئەوە بکەم بە false، ئەگەر لێرە ئەوە بکەم بە false، ئەگەر لێرە ئەوە بکەم بە true، أو ران يمكن. You see it is 0 باشا. كوابع it is very simple thing. هەر کاتێک ویستمان value true false مان بۆ دەرچێ شتێکی ئاواکەین لە داهاتوە بەکارهێنین. We will use it in the conditions and stuff. We will decide this one is beneficial. It's important to use it. Okay. ئەگەر ئێستا بژڵێین 0 decide equals to 0 هەر سفرەیەهاتوو بە هەمان شێوە. Okay. ئەوەی کە مهمە بیزان لێرە ئەوەیە کە بولیان تایپێکە وەک لە ڤاریێبڵەکان valueەکانی either true or false and بۆ decision بەکاردێ. That's it. ئەوە چۆنیش بڵێ چۆنی ناسێنین بۆ شێوازە ڤاریێبڵەکە بۆ شێوازە ناسێنێتەوە. Now we have another thing which is known as character literals. Character is, the name is came from itself. Character is only one alphabet. So it's any single symbol. Okay? So any single symbol we can know, we can give a name like a character. There are some certain characters in C++ which can be used with the escape sequence. The single quote character is a delimiter for character literal. Okay. Okay, right now what we have is this. Cout A, you see this one is in a double quotation, it's a single quotation. So in order to define and declare or initialize any kind of character, we should have a single quotation and any single symbol inside it. Okay, so let's come here again. So this was the Boolean type. Let's say Boolean. And let's create characters. So this one is characters. Okay, characters. So how we are defining it? First of all, this is how we are declaring it. Char, let's say alphabet, semicolon. So this is declaration. And how we are going to initialize it? Alphabet. And I'm going to say equals to, let's say A. And when I'm calling alphabet, cout alphabet, I'm simply calling and inline. Okay. I'm simply I will see the only alphabet. So here the value for the alphabet is not a number, it's not like a float, it's not like a double, but it is more like one single alphabet. This alphabet can be percent, it can be 1 or any kind of, let's say 4. So this is in fact you may see it as a value, but in fact inside a single quotation it will be seen as not as a number but as an alphabet. Okay, so let's say what else I have now. Let me just run it first. And you see 0 is for the upper one and A is for the lowest one. So A is our result. Okay, and yeah, if I have another alphabet, let's say char class, we cannot give a name of class. Let's say your class, let's say underground 1B, so UG1, okay, equals to B. Okay, so this one is B class for the we are giving the name UG1, so undergraduate one, and we are giving a value of B. So I can say, let's see if I can add them. If I just run it, you see 163. Okay, and what's 163? It is simply okay, it is AB. What's 163? It's in fact the value of this variable inside the computer. So this one is having ASCII code. So the ASCII code for A, I think it is 61 something like this, so it's known as ASCII code, Basha. And for B it should be, I'm not sure, it should be 80 or something like that. That's why when you are adding them, it is adding 61 with the 80 stuff, okay. But when I see out them, alphabet and UG1, it gives me what's the alphabet value of alphabet is A, and what's the value of UG1, it is B. So it gives me A and B. Okay, so until now, before saying until now, okay, what else we can understand from alphabet? We can understand from it like there are games. It says, do you want to continue? If you want to continue, press Y. If you want to, let's say, exit, press, let's say X. Okay. So, or press N to not continue. So Y and N is an alphabet, in fact. Okay. So I can say char decide, and we have another decide, double E. Decide equals to Y. Okay. So whenever the decide was Y, let him continue. Whenever the decide was N, let him quit the game. So in these situations, we are not using integer, we are not using float, we are not using, we may use boolean. If it is true, then do this. If it is false, do this. But true, false, it cannot be used for like Y, for the alphabets. That's why I'm using an alphabet right now. Let's say I'm letting the user to press Y or N to either continue or quit the game. You have played the soccer game, PlayStation and stuff. Yes to continue. Come and press yes. What's happening in the background is this. If the guy has pressed yes, so continue for him. If the guy has pressed N, so don't continue. Okay. That's it. What else we have? So these are all characters. Either it is a capital letter or a small letter or a number or a sign. All of them are characters. Okay. You see, character A, we have a letter, this is a declaration, and we are initializing it. The letter is A. See out letter end line. So this will give us A. And letter equals to 66. See out letter is B. You see, this one is the ASCII code of it. ASCII code of B. Okay. So the ASCII code for A is what? As 65. So because A, we are saying A and then we are saying B. Okay. So if I have, because the kind of, this one is not an integer, that's why when I'm outing it, it will convert this one into a character. Okay. That's why it will not show me the value. It will show me, in fact, the ASCII code, which is 66 or which is 65. Okay. And what is C? It is 67. Okay. What else we have? Right now we have string. String is very simple if you have understood the character. Character is only for one alphabet, but string is for multiple alphabet, more than one alphabet. Okay? If it is two, if it is a sentence, or if it is like a paragraph, or it's a book, you can give a string type which is composed of a book. Okay, so in this time we are saying string movie title. We are declaring the string. String can be used for names when you are asking the user to enter his or her name, when you are asking the user to enter their first name, last name and stuff, when you are asking the user maybe to enter the location. So all of these things are stored inside the string. Okay, and you are giving a title to this. Let's say location, a name, first name and second name and the others. And we are simply here declaring it, and here we are initializing it. And what's the value of this string is despicable me. Okay, and I'm scouting. My favorite movie is movie title. And what's the movie title? It is Despicable Me. Where this it's been initialized here, and the movie title been declared here. Okay. So character, the difference between character and string, character is composed of only one alphabet, but string is composed of more than one alphabet. Okay, and they're kind of like the function for character is different, the function for string is different. So in here we are saying you are saying I'm in group in first grade A. So this A can be a character when you are creating an ID card for the first grade students. And for the string, what I'm going to use, we are going to ask their names, or maybe ask their father's name or their location, anything like this, which needs some keyboard writing. So this one is known as a string. Pay attention, in the string we are using double quotation, not single quotation. This is important. So we are using double quotation. In the character, we have used single quotation. Okay, so this one. So we are using single quotation. In the string, we are using double quotation. And the string is takes more memory than the character, because a character is composed of only one alphabet, while a string is composed of many alphabets. Okay? Okay, then let's try to create an ID card as an example. So I come here and I will say integer class, not class, IT class, because class is taken, and this one is for the class. So in which class you are, or in which grade, grade. So in which grade you are, and which group you are, and for the group you can use a char group, and maybe name and surname. So in order to have name and surname, we are using string first name and string second name. Pay attention to this. Whenever we are using a string, we should add another package. You see, we are using include string only for the string in the variable types. Only for the string, we are including the string in order to have some string. Okay, so because I'm using a string, I will come here and I will say hash include, and the same thing, and string. Okay, right now everything is okay, so we can have the first name, the second name, the grade, the group, and let's say the location. How we can say the location, string location, and pass it or not. So it's a boolean passed. Okay, so we are giving a boolean as well. Okay, right now we have declared all of them, and we want to initialize them right now. So grade equals to 1. Okay, it's always important to write all the variables before everything. What kind of variables you need? All of them. Write it in just after the main. These are all the variables. After the declaring all the variables, you will like work with them and maybe doing some operations on them. So grade is 1, and what's the group? The group is equals to, let's say, A. So we are some kind of group A. And what's the first name? First name equal to Ahmed. And what's the last name? L name. It's L name. It's S name. S name equals to Muhammad. Okay. And then what's the location? Location equals to, let's say, Erbil and Rusty, Garashi Rusty, semicolon. And then what's if it is passed or not? So boolean, not boolean, passed equals to true. So what does it mean passed equals to true? So this means that our student has passed. Okay. Okay, then we can have a cout which says first name, and then I will give a space between them because it will write. I don't want to write something like this. Just let me minimize this one. I don't want to write something like this. Ahmed Muhammad. It's not. I mean, for a username, it's not a good thing. So instead of writing this, I'm giving a name. So I'll get the first name, then I'll give a space. After that, I will get the second name, this name. So this is Ahmed space Muhammad. Okay. And what else I need? Ahmed Muhammad. So I will come to the end line, and then I'll make another cout. I will say I'm in which grade? I'm in. I will simply come here and in grade. So it will be first, and then I will write grade. So cout, and here I will write my name. My name is. So whenever you are giving a message, or it's not, I mean, for different values, you should write different arrows. Like I'm giving a message here, and then a value of the f name, then a message, then a value, then end line. Okay. Cout, then I'm in one grade and group. Which group? We can say grade group. Which group I am? I'm in group. So what does it mean? Because we have initially we have the value. I'm saying I am in one grade group. What is the group value? A. Okay. Okay. Then I'm and then I have passed. Let's say cout. Let's say if I have boolean. What's the boolean? Let's say passed. So in fact, this passed will give us only either 0 or 1 because it is true. It will show us I have 1, which means passed. Which means passed. Okay. Okay. We will create developed programs for this. Make it automatic. If it is 1, let him write I'm passed. If it is 0, let him like write I'm not passed. Something like this. So I think right now what I need is my name is first name and last name. I'm in grade first, let's say 1 grade, group A or B. I have 1, which means a space because 1 will be written and then it will be like complicated with this one. I'll just give a space because it will write something like this if I don't give a space. 1, which means if I don't write it. 1, which what I'm doing is only give a space here. Okay. And I'll run it right now and let's see what's the result. My name is Ahmed Muhammad. I'm in first grade, group A. I have 1, which means pass it. Press any key to continue. So this is my let's say ID card. It's nice, and there's no problem with that, and that's it. So I have collected all the variables right now here. This one is integer, and okay, we can also have GPA. So float GPA, and GPA equals to 3.5. Let's say he's a clever student, and I will just copy this and I'll paste it. I have GPA average. So it says I have 3.5 average, and okay. Right now let's see it again. So I have 3.5 average. All the others are the same, remained. Okay. So this is the, like, we have collected all the kinds of variables we had. So we created a meaningful thing just to see our ID card. Okay. Thank you. And try to solve more examples. Try to write some code, and you will see it is very much easy. Okay, have a nice time, and goodbye.